The town of Elm Hollow was an unassuming place, nestled in a quiet valley. Its residents led simple lives, enjoying the serene landscape and close-knit community. However, Elm Hollow harbored a dark secret, a secret tied to the abandoned carnival grounds on the edge of town. No one went there after dark. It was said that the grounds were haunted by the ghost of a clown named Grinner. Grinner was no ordinary clown. According to legend, he had been a performer at the carnival decades ago, known for his unnaturally wide grin and sinister laugh. One fateful night, a terrible accident occurred during his act, resulting in his death. Ever since, people claim to hear his laughter echoing through the night, and those who ventured too close to the grounds often reported seeing shadowy figures with grinning faces. One chilly October evening, a group of friends decided to test their courage and spend the night at the old carnival grounds. There were 5 of them: Jack, Emma, Michael, Lily, and Sam. Armed with flashlights and a few blankets, they set out just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the town in an orange glow. The path to the carnival was overgrown and covered in fallen leaves. The air grew colder as they approached, and a sense of unease settled over them. They reached the rusting gates, which creaked open with a groan. Beyond lay the remnants of the carnival, dilapidated rides, broken booths, and a faded big top tent. "Well, here we are," Jack said, trying to sound brave. "Let's set up by the tent." As they walked through the grounds, the wind howled through the broken rides, creating an eerie symphony. They gathered near the entrance of the big top and spread out their blankets. The moonlight cast long, distorted shadows that seemed to dance around them. "This place gives me the creeps," Lily said, shivering. "Come on, it's just an old carnival," Michael replied. "There's nothing to be afraid of." "Let's tell some ghost stories to pass the time," Emma suggested, trying to lighten the mood. As they shared stories, the atmosphere grew more relaxed, and they began to laugh and joke. But their laughter was soon interrupted by a faint sound, a distant, echoing laugh that sent chills down their spines. "Did you hear that?" Sam whispered. "Yeah," Jack replied, his voice barely audible. "It sounded like laughing." They fell silent, straining to hear. The laughter came again, louder this time, and seemed to be coming from the big top. Against their better judgment, they decided to investigate. They entered the tent cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The interior was filled with old circus props and tattered banners. The laughter grew louder, reverberating through the empty space. Then the flashlights flickered and went out. Panic set in as they fumbled to get their flashlights working again. In the darkness, they heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps, followed by more laughter. When the lights finally came back on, they saw a figure standing in the center of the ring. It was Grinner. His face was painted white, with a red mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. His eyes were hollow, dark voids that seemed to swallow the light. He wore a tattered clown costume, and his entire body seemed to flicker like a shadow. "Welcome to my carnival," Grinner said, his voice a chilling blend of joy and malice.
"I've been waiting for some new friends."
The friends backed away, their hearts pounding. Grinner's laughter filled the tent, growing louder and more maniacal. The shadows around them began to move, forming grinning faces that closed in on them. "Run," Jack shouted, and they bolted for the exit. They stumbled out of the tent and sprinted through the carnival grounds, the laughter following them. The shadows seemed to reach out, trying to grab them. As they reached the gates, the laughter suddenly stopped. They collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. "Is everyone okay?" Emma asked, her voice shaking. They all nodded, though they were visibly shaken. The friends hurried back to town, not daring to look back. The next morning they returned to the carnival grounds with the local sheriff, determined to find some explanation for what they had experienced. But the grounds were silent and empty, with no sign of Grinner or the moving shadows. The sheriff dismissed their story as a product of overactive imaginations, but the friends knew what they had seen. They never spoke of that night again, but the memory haunted them. Years passed, and the legend of Grinner grew. The townspeople of Elm Hollow avoided the carnival grounds, especially after dark. And sometimes on cold October nights, if you listened closely, you could still hear the faint, echoing laughter of Grinner, waiting for his next audience to join him in the shadows.